What some pilots are talking about, I'm hearing, is the idea that perhaps the pilot or co-pilot of this plane took control of the cockpit.
We, the independent group, weren't making really at this point any kind of claims, but we were just trying to figure out what was known. Because if you wanted to know about MH30, which so many people did, you weren't getting it from the Malaysian authorities. But we weren't the only group out there. There was another tribe called the Tom Rotters.
So I thought I could be a great person to help look for this airplane. It's pretty close to where the airplane first disappeared from radar. Then you press next.
Are you gonna be? Say that you're gonna be. Yeah. Are you gonna be in love with me? I want you and need you to be. Yeah. Are you gonna be? 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 I want you and need you to be. Yeah. Are you gonna be? 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 Well, 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 well. Still in love, so in love, still in love. Are you gonna be? Say that you're gonna be.
You all in my business. Say hi to the camera. Here.
What over there, dog?
Look at this one.
I'm not holding him.
Yes, you are. He probably gonna be hungry.
Well, feed him.
No, hold up. I gotta go.
What? I'm so dead. I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
Says they haven't used this in the past to track planes before. So the idea that now it's being used and then also tampered with feels far-fetched to them.
The idea
and
that
then I'm just going to follow You trying to let it out? Oh, look at that diaper. Look at the diaper. Look at the diaper, you stinky man. Look at the diaper, you stinky man. I'm scared to change you. I feel like you're going to let it out on me. Double chin. Is that your name? Mm-hmm. Is that your name? Double chin? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, buddy. You're letting us have it in that diaper. You're letting us have it in that diaper. Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I don't think that's fair. Be expected. You're that formula.
And I put a deposit down on it. And I am moving to LA.
That is not right. Buddha.
You still spending that brother's money.
Oh, look at you.
Buddha.
Just because Ron's more successful. What did I get in our divorce? A wicker lounge chair and a couple of Bobby Womack albums.
You know, I knew you took those damn albums.
Yeah, I took them. It's still Thanksgiving Eve.
Just till he gets on his feet.
Whoa, buddy.
Daddy, with my new job, we're okay. And I know he's gonna.
Sir.
I came with some savings. I've been working my whole life. We need strong loss. But I was myself. I have no savings. I made dinner for your entire family.
Sweet, but don't leave. Never either. Na, na, na. Oh, na, na. Oh, yeah. Hi, handsome. Hey, does somebody feel so fresh and so clean? So fresh and so clean.
Never get to them.
Try a little tenderness. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You think mommy's funny? You laughing at mommy? You think I'm funny? Uh-oh. You okay? Yeah, you call your breath. Did you catch your breath? Huh? You catch your breath? Boy, you got some dry skin on you. You got some dry skin, booty butt. You got some dry skin, booty butt. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You got some dry skin. And what else? And what else? Got some dry skin, honey dude. We don't do dry skin around here now, okay? We might do ashy, right? But we don't do dry, okay? We can't do the dry. The dry is not gonna get you by. The dry is not gonna get you by. It's not gonna get you by. It's not gonna get you by. It's not gonna get you by. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah. He's so cute. You want to put on your onesie? Yeah, I can't see you. Can you say good morning? Say good morning. Got your bag ready to go? Say good morning. Say hi. Wave at them. Say hi. Amen. Ooh, what's up, y'all? I look crazy. I don't know about this wig, y'all. I really don't. I think I'm gonna have to dye it again because, like I said, it looks good with like makeup and stuff, but like everyday wear, it still gives me the same color that I had before. So I think I'm gonna go get a black dye and like fully do it. It's not gonna be black, obviously, because it's not this, whatever color this was at first is so strong and potent that whatever I put on top of it, it's gonna show, but it's not gonna be as vibrant. But I feel like black is gonna like really set it off. My face is like super ashy right now, so I just feel like my face is stuck and I keep licking my lips. Jacob is crying, so I'm gonna hurry up. But today is April the 6th. It is Thursday. I haven't spoken to y'all. I want to say this too. I can never really film day in the lives because my day in the lives end up being days in the life. But I just at least want to come on and like give an overview of documentary series that I was watching on Netflix, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. But I'll do that in the house because I got to get my son in the house and feed him. So I'll see y'all in just a bit.
You know, once they got the tear on report, Boeing should have grounded the MAX. They didn't do that. This was after the Lion Air crash, before my daughter died. They let it go up in the air.
Feeling part of the whole thing. Boeing did the absolute least that they could do. The problem would not reoccur for a permanent fix.
Boeing's failure to do everything they could do, but you never really looked at us.
We need to figure out exactly what happened, not after all the hearings, not after the pressure, but because people have died and we don't want another person to die.
Senator, as you mentioned, I didn't see the details of this.
Family members stand up and hold their loved ones' pictures.
To the relatives who have lost loved ones, if you could please stand.
And at that point, Dennis Blomberg had to turn around and look at us.
Girl.
Pull me closer. It's the thinking me I wanna show you. It feels so good, don't want it to be over.
All right, y'all. So I'm here with the mic, so you already know what's going down, right? Okay, we about to chat. First of all, Panera, what is this? I don't know. Maybe Panera is more of a healthier alternative. I feel like they're like another Subway, but like bougier, you know? So that flatbread is not flatbreading. Okay, first of all, I like my flatbread to be more on the softer side. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense because mostly flatbread is like a thinner, crispier type of pizza, but no, it's just not giving. And then like it tastes healthy, and like I just want like grease right now. I want the grease. Okay. But all in all, I think I'm trying to compare that to the flatbread at the bowling alleys. If y'all never had flatbread at the bowling alley, bro, you missing out. I literally will go up there right now just to go get their flatbread. And I think it's because I'm spoiled with theirs that I expect all flatbread to taste like that. And flatbread is literally just another form of pizza too. So it's so many different options. And I think I saw that they had like a cheese one, but I was like, I'd rather just get the pepperoni one. That's what I got, the pepperoni flatbread pizza. But then it's cold. So I don't know if they made this as soon as I ordered it and then it took the person 30 hours to deliver it. So it got cold on the way, but maybe if I like put it back in the oven to like, you know, warm it up, it'll be better. Anyways, that's besides the point. I'm hungry and they kind of messed up my whole vibe because I wanted Chick-fil-A, but then I was like, am I really in the mood for Chick-fil-A? Then I was like, let me just get something else because I always eat Chick-fil-A. But I wanted to give y'all an overview on the documentary series about MH3. Was it 370? I think it was. Y'all. Again, I know I'm late because I think the debut was March 8th and we're in April. But oh my God, for one, I didn't know that was real. I also want to know, did they base Manifest off of that? Because it's Eminem, you know, I don't know. But I wonder, did they base it off of that? I know that that's not the only plane crash that's happened in the world, but obviously that one was like really powerful. And it was because the plane literally disappeared. And literally to this day, they don't know where that plane is. They speculate the people that found the debris or the person that was finding the debris, it was a setup. You know, they were just like throwing things out in the ocean for people to think that, you know, the plane, you know, was basically everybody died or like the plane flew into water. And obviously it was the South Indian Ocean. So that's like bodies of water and deeper than deep, where, you know, they were finding and they were trying to find these people for years. And that's how long clearly, you know, it was taking for them to search this big body of water. That's not including bad weather on the seas. It was just so much that they faced and that they were up against when it came to finding these people. And I don't know if y'all know this about me, and if you don't, I'll share it with you, but I'm very like interested in the weirdest things. Like I literally go back and look at Whale Wars. If y'all haven't watched Whale Wars, that was on years ago.
Hello? Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Japan has fired their first shot. They got the 9th District Court in the United States to issue an injunction against us. I've resigned from Sea Shepherd USA, from the board of directors, and I'm no longer the executive director of Sea Shepherd USA.
Right now, the Nishin Maru is heading towards the Sun Laurel to refuel. We need to stop this refueling from taking place.
Mayday. Bob Barker. We are getting around.
Nishin Maru, this is Bob Barker. I will not move. I will not move. You will have to sink me right here next to the Sun Laurel. I am not going to move for you.
Destroying our boat.
Steve Irwin, they're destroying us. Steve Irwin, we've regained propulsion. I have power. I am not backing down. All right, let me speak to him. Son Laurel, Bob Barker, go ahead.
No more now. Now, no more.
Well, I never had any doubt that Peter Hammerstedt would not stand his ground there. So that act actually saved quite a few whales.
You know, I always told Paul I wouldn't back down, and to be able to live up to that feels good. Feels good not to let him down.
Okay, on Animal Planet, I used to grow up loving that show, watching that show. I would literally like sit and watch hours and hours of YouTube videos of tornadoes. Like, I'm just weird. Like, the stuff people will probably shy away from or, you know, find weird or scary. I like low-key embrace it. I love water. So I love looking at stuff like that. And so this was like, this was nothing different. I was like, I really want to, you know, look into it. I know De'Ara had talked about it like briefly on her YouTube channel, that it's really good. And so I had already saw it on Facebook. Well, actually, I think I saw it on YouTube. I was scrolling because I was trying to find something else to watch after Jeannie and Georgia came off. And I saw that and I was like, it's giving Manifest. But I didn't know it was a documentary series. So I'm super into documentary series. And so I just clicked on it, and after her review and then other people talking about it on Facebook, I was like, yeah. So I sat down and watched it, and my attention was like on it. And I hate limited series or anything that's like short and not ongoing, because once I'm in it, I don't want to watch anything else, and I'm going to compare everything else to what I just watched. So anyways, I would recommend that for y'all. Like, it's so good. It's heart-wrenching. It's like basically, and another thing too, by the way, basically, because a lot of people be want to know, like, okay, what is it about though? It's basically a collaborative effort of like people coming together who have studied upon this kind of stuff, have degrees in, you know, airplanes and engineering and stuff like that. And so there's these 3 to 4 different people that all have theories of what happened and what could have possibly happened to the plane. They think, so, like, okay, one of them had like 3 different theories. So one of them was basically saying the pilot was going through, you know, a mental problem where he committed murder-suicide. So he turned off the electric, he turned off all the electronics for the plane, basically where he could not be seen on the radar. And so once he turned it off, they had to figure out where he was going, because he just completely turned off the electronic parts of the airplane, and he made it look like they flew where they were going, but he ended up flying into the South Indian Ocean, and then basically killing everybody. The second theory was the plane was hijacked because they heard mumbling on the radio, and the frequency and all of that kind of stuff. And then the third was, I think they were saying it was like a faulty error within the airplane. And so they landed somewhere, but I mean, because that happened, you know, a few years ago, possibly, you know, the people that were captured by Russians are still being held hostage, but you would not recognize who they are because that happened years ago. So their faces may have changed. They've all gotten older. Some of them may have even died. And so it was just like all of these different wild theories. And there was a guy who actually has experience. He was a pilot and a pilot engineer. And he was saying all of this is absurd. Like, and then there was another person who actually went out on the sea to find these people. He was also saying these theories are just not true. And so it's really interesting because you get to hear everybody else's perspective. You get to hear everybody else's opinion. You get to hear facts, and you get to hear facts intertwined with opinions. And it's just super interesting because then you start developing your own, you know, theory of what could have possibly happened. And so, of course, nobody knows but the people that's on the plane. And we don't know if they are all dead in the ocean. We don't know if they have been captured. This was also during the time of like the Russian war. And it was just like so much going on, y'all. Like, it just make you want to like dive into it more, you know, at least for me. So I loved it. And then I started watching the case against Boeing. It's called Downfall. And that was basically where there was an Indonesian man who flew the airplane called Boeing at the time. And about 13 minutes into takeoff, he crashes. And it was because they had a new system in place called MACAS or something like that. It's MCAS. And it was a hidden system that only, you know, the CEO and a few of the elites knew about, but they did not tell their pilots. They did not train them on it. The pilots did not know anything about it. And so that's what ended up killing that entire flight. I think it was like 239 people. And then shortly after, like 5 months later, the same company, Boeing, they had another incident where 189 people or 84 people lost their life. And so that raised eyebrows as to why this happened back to back when they were a company that was known for safety. And so it just goes into this deep hole of the CEO being, you know, corruptive because they started to merge with a guy named McDouglas. And so they went from taking the time to really make sure that their plane was safely inspected and all parts were together. And if there were any problems that arised, they fixed them. But then, you know, the McDouglas and them, it was basically a money scheme, and Wall Street was like putting pressure on them because of money. Y'all know everything is a money game. So they started, you know, making things cheaper, making parts cheaper, buying cheaper parts, not really taking the time to assess any problems, leaving things in the airplane overnight, not training their pilots, saying what isn't necessary and what is. Even like the exchanges and email to other companies, it was just, you know, like crappy. Customer service was just like, we don't have to do this, and we are not demanding our pilots to be trained, and simulation is not a necessity or a requirement. And so once all of this was founded, and, you know, because it took years to, you know, find that out, the CEO at the time, he didn't get any charge. Well, he did, but he basically retired, I guess, if you will, or like, I forgot the word because I can't think right now, but he basically pulled out of being CEO, right? And instead of facing federal time or prison time, whatever the case, he ended up paying 2.5 million. I think it was. I think it said million. If not, it was a billion. But I mean, he has so much money in stocks and all of that. I mean, he can afford it. So he paid 2.5 million, if I'm not mistaken, to basically get out of what he was in. And that way the company would not face like any criminal charges. So it was a lot. And it's the fact that there's things that's happening in our world now that we will not know about until we are long gone, or, you know, right at the brink of, you know, our old age. You know what I'm saying? Think about the things we're experiencing now that we're just now finding out that happened in 1997. So, you know, my biggest thing is just to pray for your country, pray for your world, pray for your city, pray for your state, pray for the government. We like to throw darts at them, but at the end of the day, I know, as bad as this, you know, can sound, they're still human, and they really are at the end of the day, and they do make mistakes. And there are corrupt people in the government. We know that. But pray for them instead of, you know, hating them and wanting them to get out. You know, pray that the Lord, you know, shifts and change their minds. And then honestly, y'all, if everything was to go the way we planned, there would be no need for God. Y'all got to remember that. If everything was supposed to be perfect, and the government was supposed to be peaceful, and there was supposed to be no wars, and children are not supposed to die, and people are not supposed to go to jail, there would be no need to even call on God and believe in God, right? So unfortunately, as bad as it sounds, things are supposed to happen. You know, I don't want my son to leave me from this earth. I don't want my husband to be taken away from me. But if that has to happen for the glory of God to be revealed, it just has to happen. And yes, as a human, it's going to hurt, like HELL. Okay, it's going to hurt. But at the end of the day, I know that God would not have allowed it if it was not to bring forth his glory. And so we just have to remember that. We just have to remember that. So I encourage you, if you know, believe in God and that's your stance, pray for your world. And I didn't even mean to go that route. I actually was just going to give an overview of what I was watching because I thought it was pretty interesting. And yeah, so Anyways, I love y'all. And I think this is going to be the end of the video because this was genuinely just supposed to be a day in the life. And this was like 2 days, I think. So I'm done. I'm going to go put this piece of, I don't even want it really. And then I got this drink. I guess I'll try this out for y'all. It's a green tea, passion fruit, papaya flavored green tea. And you know what? I used to love green tea. I still love green tea. I just don't reach for it as often. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I love green tea. And I know that's crazy to say because I haven't drank green tea in years, y'all. Like years, okay? Probably hot or warm green tea, but not like cold green tea. So I guess I can't say I ain't drinking in years, but you get what I'm saying. That's about the only good thing that came from Panera Bread, okay? But I think I'm gonna try Blaze Pizza. It's in Arlington, and my brother was telling me about it. So I'm gonna try them, see if they got some good flatbread, because I want flatbread now, and I want it right. Because it's just like, it's just too healthy for me. I need like the grease, the heavy core. You know what I'm saying? But Jacob is asleep, so he's in the room. I'm in the living room. I'm looking currently at The Night Agent. I'm on episode 1. I literally had to start over. I was already an hour in and I had to start over because I just wasn't paying attention. And so I'm about to look at that. This weekend, baby and I are going out of town. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. Well, I got to get a babysitter first. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. So I will catch y'all in next week's video. Love you. Bye.